Hey guys, how's it going? So today in this video we're going to be doing the unboxing of my new PC. Now Liam here has been helping me get everything together because I don't really know that much about this type of stuff. So he's been giving me a lot of advice on what to buy and where to buy it from, cheapest prices, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'll leave it to Liam to kind of give you an overview of what we've bought.
From memory.
From memory.
So we've gone with a micro ATX case. It's a little bit smaller than your usual form factor. Owen needed something that was a bit more compact than your usual large system, so we went for something that was a little bit smaller and more suited to what he needed. We've gone for a recently released AMD Ryzen 9 3900X processor.
All of the power.
Yeah. We didn't actually realise it had only just been released about 2 days before we ordered it. It might be here, it might not be. We're not quite sure what's going on.
Yeah, it was coming from Europe or something, like maybe Italy or something, so we're not really too sure exactly how long it's going to take to get it, because on Amazon, where we got it from, it did actually say that it hasn't been dispatched yet, but sometimes they lie, basically. So it could be in here, we don't know. We're going to find out together. Everything's come in like different boxes and different times and stuff like that over the past week, so a lot of it's just been sat in my house, you know.
We'll see what's in there, to be honest.
This was one of the ones where we got a provisional list of all the things that we wanted and all the kind of specs that I needed for what I'm going to be doing, because I want to over-spec this on purpose, so I'm not going to get 2 years down the line and need to upgrade a lot of stuff. So we kind of overshot it here, and we made a provisional list, checked it against different prices, and then we actually found out that it was cheaper to get better specs with certain things. So it's just worked out really, really well. So again, there's just a lot of stuff here that's kind of overdoing it, but
I think initially in your previous vlog to do with this, when I first came round to discuss computer parts with Owen, he actually stated that he wanted a laptop. That went down the drain. I think realistically, with a laptop you're not going to get the same specs that you require really. A lot of them are so much more expensive because of the compact case sizes and the cooling requirements of a small case that a laptop comes with. You're just not going to get the same power. It's just not possible. So we went with a full system. You're going to get much better airflow, higher specs for a lesser cost. So it was a no-brainer really.
I did want to have portability with this, but we've had to kind of compromise on that just because of the fact that with these type of specs that we're going to get, you can't have that in a laptop. So what I decided to do was change my workflow a little bit. I'm going to have this at home in my studio, and I'm going to be doing most of my editing and that kind of stuff, you know, any extra bits of recording and stuff I'm going to do from there. So again, it just makes it a little bit easier rather than having messing around having a laptop going from place to place. I can just kind of condense everything and have it all in one place then. So what we're going to do now is go from box to box, just kind of unbox it and then show you guys exactly what's in it. We'll kind of showcase everything here, and then we'll get some nice B-roll and nice slick look at everything, and then we're going to go over the specs of whatever in a bit more detail.
Yeah.
Now, even though I paid for it all, he helped me with it all, so he gets to draw first blood.
Hey, yes. Don't worry, I won't damage it.
Oh, don't quit yourself, like don't damage yourself.
Oh, I've done that before, don't worry. I'm trying to be so careful. Alright. I'll just slide it out that way. It's looking good already.
Oh my god.
Alright. Here we go.
So it's quite well packaged to begin with. It's you know, polystyrene casing, that kind of stuff. A little bit of a sticker to go with it.
Just looking quickly on the inside, there's plenty of room to build it. Across the top here we've got your power switch, you've got two USB 2.0, you've got a USB 3, you've actually got a card reader and your audio inputs and a reset button. Let's get her opened up. It's really nice. I mean that's going to be PC porn, that is, because you're going to have to peel that off at some point. Don't want to do it yet though.
ASMR.
So the handy thing here is...
We're going to hold on now.
Yeah.
We're going to make you wait for it.
So the handy thing here is obviously we've got these release screws at the back. This makes it so much easier to get into the case if you need to. You don't have to mess around with screwdrivers or anything like that, because they've got this really nice grippy sort of heads on them that you can just grab hold of and take it off. It's good as well, it's got a nice little handle there that you can just pull the case off with. Or the case panel, I should say.
I just pulled it off and broke it.
That's where I'm different to you. So that's Perspex on the side. It's transparent, so you can see inside and see the power. I'll hand that to you, sir.
It's like Terry Crews. Power!
So this chamber here at the bottom is basically where the power supply sits. It's good to have its own chamber. For one, it hides it aesthetically, and two, it protects some of the heat that it produces from the other components. There's actually a vent on the bottom as well, so that the fan inside the PSU can actually push the hot air out and pull some cold air in as well. Plenty of space to work with here actually. It's good. It's got an integrated rear, looks like 120mm fan. It may be a little bit bigger. The other thing you'll notice here as well is that this section is slightly raised. If we turn this back over and if I basically take the other panel off, this is actually useful for cable management. It means that you can hide all the unnecessary cables that you're not going to be using, and it just tidies up the interior a little bit. It's ideal really.
Looks really smart, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's powder coated on the inside as well, which it always gives it a nice finish. Just makes it look a little bit slicker, especially when you've got a system like yours. You don't want to bung it into a crappy case, because it defeats the object. So it looks like we've got good airflow. You know, you've always got the option there as well at the front of adding more fans if you needed to. There's space for 3 there, which is mega overkill, but the option is there if you ever needed it. Just for argument's sake as well, at the back here, these panels, we basically take these off. Basically the back of your graphics card has the ports in, so like your HDMI input, whatever else may be on there, you take these panels off here, wherever the graphics card sat, and it reveals those ports so that you can plug your stuff into it.
It's a very sleek design. I think that was one of the things that was quite attractive about it, was that it's not too ostentatious. You know, it looks good. It's basic, straightforward. It does what it needs to do. Should we move on to the next one?
Step 2, yeah.
Next box.
I'm going to hand over the gauntlet.
Oh yes. My turn. Probably to stab myself. Yeah.
Don't cut it! Oh.
Too late.
This is the moment of truth now, because this is the box that well, Owen wondered whether the processor was in here, but
yeah,
he'll open it now and it'll all be polystyrene packaging.
It's heavy polystyrene. I'm really nervous now.
How much pensive as you are?
So what have we got in here?
So that's your graphics card.
Right, yes, we've got the MSI graphics card. You can see that up there. A Vengeance LPX.
That's your RAM.
DDR RAM. 2 of. The HDMI cable.
Oh right, okay.
And that is heavy, that.
Yeah.
This is the power supply.
It's gone for an 850 watt.
Yeah, it's going to definitely do everything that we need it to do. And then all this nice. Go on, shoot your ears, Shane. I'm going to have a lot of fun with that later. Simple man with simple tastes. So we've got some nice things there, haven't we?
Yeah. It's not the processor though.
It's not the processor, which is a little bit of a downer, you know. Nice neat cut that.
Yeah,
just whip it, you know.
I like your attention to detail. It's good.
I'll let you open this up and explain what it is.
Okay. Without going into the details, we always want an 80 plus gold. They do bronze and silver, but I've never really used them. I've always just gone for the gold ones because obviously gold's better than bronze. So
Better conductor, yeah.
With Owen's system being as powerful and expensive as it is, I wasn't going to mess about with anything less really. The estimated power draw for Owen's system is around 600 watts, maybe even less to be honest, but we've gone for an 850 because that gives him the scope to upgrade and not have to worry about replacing the power supply at any point during that time.
It gives you a little bit of extra breathing space, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's get it open.
There we go.
Oh, Christ on the bike.
Right, let's... Horrendous.
Dropping stuff.
So we've got a nice little book there for you. Yeah, usual power cables, your kettle lead. Plenty of cables in here for connecting to the motherboard, which is good.
There's loads, isn't there? Another whole bundle there.
Yeah, it's a modular power supply, so it allows you to only connect the cables that you need. A lot of the power supplies that you buy nowadays are modular, but the old ones, like the ones I used to work with, had so many cables coming out the back, and you ended up having to route them all somewhere in the case because half of them were unnecessary. So it's good to have a modular one. Just tidies things up a little bit and also improves your airflow because you've not got the cables blocking the air. EVGA, great brand, reputable.
I should point out that none of this stuff is sponsored. We're not
Yeah.
we're not endorsing any brands here or anything like this. This is literally just what we decided to buy.
Yeah.
No one got in touch with us about advertising their products or anything. So it's a hefty looking
Very well built.
piece of gear, yeah.
Very well built. So obviously we've got this section here. This comes out the back of the PC. It's got your power switch and obviously where your kettle lead plugs in. We've got on the back, basically got all your ports for your connections that go into the motherboard. So your SATA cables. Also got a hefty fan on the bottom. If you ever had any concerns about the cooling of it, I wouldn't have any now because that's enormous. So your RAM is your computer's short-term memory. It effectively just refers to it to perform certain actions that don't require to be kept for the long term. We've got 32 gigabytes. Owen uses Pro Tools,
Premiere Pro, Photoshop. Looking into getting to After Effects as well, so that's definitely going to need something a bit heftier.
Pro Tools as a minimum recommends 16 gigabytes, so to double that is probably the best bet. We've also gone for a 3000 megahertz clock speed, which is one of the faster ones that you can achieve. A lot of them only come in 2400, so to get 3000 was a good idea, I think, for what you're going to be using it for. A lot of them as well come with stupid big red fancy cases across them, but you're paying the extra for it, and I don't think we needed that, did we?
No, that was one of those definitely going to keep the cost down, was having something just, again, a little bit plainer, because I'm not a gamer. I don't need it to look all fancy and, again, ostentatious, so I'm quite happy with that.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm going to keep these in the plastic casing. A lot of computer parts are quite sensitive to static electricity and I wouldn't want to expose them to it, so I'm going to keep them in the case for now. You can still see them. Quite understated, robust, well protected.
Typically when I've had PCs before, because I've been using a Mac for ages, now that I'm moving back to PC, when I was a kid and we had a PC, it was a pre-built one, but it was one from years and years ago, and it was crap. Its specs were absolutely terrible, and for a long time I was very apprehensive about going back to PC because of how that mentality I had about them. So I'm very intrigued to see how these perform.
So yeah, incorrectly stated before that you had a Vega 64. It's a Vega 56. Not much of a change, to be honest.
MSI is a good brand.
MSI is an excellent brand. Basically uses the AMD architecture, but puts their own spin on it, basically. The AMD architecture will work well with the AMD processor and AMD motherboard. So let's get it open, we'll have a look.
Yeah, the packaging on this seems really slick, doesn't it? Like, it's very professional looking.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect any less with the cost of it.
Well,
I would be disappointed
that, but,
if it was poorly packaged, but
like a briefcase box.
yeah, I've never seen that before.
All that for that.
So we've got a cable. Basically, this is a power cable. It runs from the motherboard directly to the graphics card, so that it's got a full power supply to it. That enables it to run at its peak performance, which is always the case with the more expensive and more powerful graphics cards, to be honest.
So quite important.
Yeah. So we've got a disc for the graphics drivers and a quick user's guide. So still important stuff, to be honest.
Yeah, it's definitely worth reading all the instructions first, because again, if you try and install this, or you can get out of the box and there's something that you're supposed to have done again, like ground yourself or something like that,
Yeah.
It's going to be an expensive mistake.
Yeah. I've just had a quick peek, so as expected, this is in a anti-static bag. Protects it. This part specifically is quite sensitive to static electricity, so this bag basically diverts any static electricity going towards it. It's okay to be taken out for a short period of time. You do have to ground yourself before you touch it, otherwise you're going to damage it.
That's the best way of grounding yourself. If you were just like doing this kind of setup now, what would be the best way to kind of ground
Your
yourself?
standard way is your PC case. If you touch your PC case, as long as it's made of metal, that will ground you. A lot of people can use an anti-static wristband, but once you've touched your case, as long as you're not rubbing a balloon with your head, or basically rubbing your jeans down and stuff, I think you'd be okay.
High motion.
I've built enough systems in my time to know, that you're all right with it. They are still quite robust, so you don't have to worry too much, but don't be stupid with it. Nice little thank you note there from MSI.
Oh, isn't that nice?
My oh my.
That is a lot bigger than I was expecting to be. That's what she said.
Or isn't.
That's what this vlog, these videos and vlogs are turning into.
Yeah, euphemisms. Okay, so as I stated to you, it's basically a tinted bag, quite thick. So if you're ever looking at parts, checking to see whether they're damaged or not, always put it back in this bag until you come to assemble your PC. Just protects it, and to be honest, even with installation protection, I don't think you would be protected for leaving it out, especially in a material like, if you're leaving it in something like this for extended periods of time, it's just going to build static, and at that point you're knackered basically. So we just want to ground ourselves quickly. If you just touch your case there, stupid as it seems,
I feel grounded.
Yeah.
Better to be safe than sorry, because again, this could be a very expensive mistake, so I'm nervous now.
I've got a really big fan for cooling there. All the air's directed towards that because it's an enclosed graphics card. We've got the power supply plugs, or sockets I should say, at the top. With these you can actually, what they call crossfire, or SLI. It's basically where you use two graphics cards and plug them into each other. You can actually have one monitor running with one graphics card and another running with the other graphics card, but that's for major
high intensity stuff.
It's not really what you need at the minute, to be honest. Got a nice little feature at the back there that shows the architecture, the graphics processor there. I've got to admit, probably the best built graphics card I've seen for a long time. Really solid, robust casing.
Money well spent. And then last thing from this box was the HDMI cable. This is going to be fairly straightforward, I think. It's a HDMI cable.
How long is it, Owen?
6 foot, so...
It's a high-speed HDMI cable.
High-speed HDMI cable.
Come on, sell it. Come on.
Next.
Next, this is your SSD.
So yeah, talk about that.
Nice. So yeah, we've gone for a 1 terabyte Samsung 860 EVO SSD. SSD stands for solid state drive. Basically, it's different from your standard hard drives in that it doesn't use a physical. It doesn't use a physical disk. Stop. It's putting me off. The proof's in the name. It's solid inside. So the old hard drives used to use a disk. You've heard the old sayings that if you open it and you touch the disk, that's it. It's ruined. Which is why, if you ever wanted to wipe a hard drive, that's how you do it. The more you know.
I need to remember that then.
Yeah, I would. That's a zoom shot, that. I'm not even going to say anything about the brand because it's Samsung. So Samsung make a lot of screens for a lot of companies. LG being one of them, I'm sure. These Evo SSDs are actually one of the best-selling brands out there, to be honest. So good choice. The advantages of an SSD over a hard drive, a traditional hard drive, is that with it being a solid-state drive, it can actually achieve greater write speeds and read speeds. This one's up to 6 gigabytes a second, whereas the old ones generally only go up to 3. So you're getting double the speed effectively. So it's going to improve your boot speed, your general saving speed, pretty much everything, to be honest. It's great.
Like if I was recording something through Pro Tools, I could write straight to the disc. A lot quicker than if I was to do it, say, like to a hard drive.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
An external hard drive.
And as you can see, it's a lot more compact.
Yeah, I mean, is this another one we need to ground ourselves, or?
No, this is protected, so you're okay with this one.
It's tiny. Oh, very, very light as well. There's nothing to that. So this is what we thought that the HDMI cable or something was going to be in. So let's find out what it is.
I know what it could be.
Oh, you think he knows?
In fact, I'm sure. Yes. So this is the interesting one.
Go on, tell us what this is.
This is Owen's keyboard. Yeah. When I was talking to Owen about his requirements for this, he spoke very fondly, shall we say, of his Apple touchpad on his laptop, and he said that he liked using a touchpad, and so I tried to find a decent keyboard with a touchpad integrated. This company, Rapu. Yeah. I actually bought a flat keyboard from them a while ago, and it was excellent. Really enjoyed using it. It was really comfortable. It was very quiet as well. So this is nice and compact. A bit of a trial for you, this, isn't it? Because you weren't sure whether you wanted to move to a mouse or.
This is it. It's just like because I've been using Mac for so long. I'm used to a certain kind of way of doing things and a certain kind of feel, if you like, with and shortcuts, that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
coming over to something like this again is going to be a bit of a challenge for me. But so underneath we've got the USB. Obviously, this will plug into the computer itself for the Bluetooth or wireless, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple of AAA batteries and an instruction manual as well. Quick start guide.
If you were transporting this, it's a handy little, it's a nice little touch.
Slide in there to keep it safe.
Yeah, if you do it the right way.
Yeah.
Bloody USBs.
So
Everything should just go to USB-C.
50-50 in it, so.
So yeah, just slides in there so you don't lose it. Because the one thing you don't want with a wireless keyboard is to lose the receiver, because then you can't use it. So yeah, it's using a 2.4 gigahertz wireless signal.
It looks quite sleek and compact. Nice design, clean. So we'll give that a try.
So this will be your brains, effectively. You see, your processor is your engine, really. Your brains is your motherboard. Here we go. MSI again. AMD X570 motherboard. This is basically the recommended motherboard for the processor that we've ordered. It's fairly new. obviously supports the Ryzen 3000 series. So again, pretty simple with this. Another static bag, because obviously this is like your main parts. Ground yourself again, just because you've been touching your bits.
Whoa. So straight off we've got the actual motherboard itself, so we'll have a look at it in a sec.
We've got your driver's disc, utilities, a couple of SATA cables, and this is actually the backplate for your motherboard. So basically, where I was saying earlier about the inputs, so if you wanted to use the integrated graphics on the motherboard, you've got HDMI input, you've got numerous USB inputs as well as your standard old PS2 keyboard and mouse input, your LAN or Ethernet cables. You've actually got USB-C input as well there, which is good. Mic inputs, audio in general, quite a lot on there to be honest, but we'll be able to see that in full detail on the motherboard itself. So yeah, basically we've got more ASMR. So we've got your PCI inputs there for your graphics card. You've got your RAM slots here. This is where your power supply plugs into. Basically these bits here as well, obviously you've got your USB input, power supply sockets, SATA sockets for your hard drive. This panel here is basically where your processor sits. So your processor will sit on there, comes with a lever which secures it down, and then your cooler will sit on top of that and protect it.
So on the side you've got the USB ports and...
Yeah, so we've basically got audio inputs, digital input, you've got your USB 3s, PS2 keyboard and mouse. That's really old fashioned. I don't think anybody uses that anymore, to be honest.
Well, it's better to have it.
So yeah, it's great, to be honest. It looks really robust, as with the other products, and anything I would expect from MSI to be of the same quality.
Again, this is going to be another one when we get it all installed and everything like that, because we will do this in another video when the processor has arrived. When we get it all installed and everything like that, we're going to get it fired up and you're going to be able to see how everything fits together. And that's what we're going to go into a little bit more detail, is exactly how everything goes together, because that's the biggest thing with these type of builds. Is for people like me, I have no idea where any of it goes. So this is why I've got Liam on hand. I think it's going to be educational for you guys as well if you are looking to upgrade your stuff, because you might be running a crappy laptop and you want to upgrade some of your stuff. So if we can do this for you guys, you can let us know if it's been of any use to you. Now I will say in advance that we had to open this up before, because when the box arrived it was slightly damaged, so we had to make sure that everything was okay inside. We don't know if it actually works, we've not plugged it in, but just wanted to make sure there was no kind of dents or any cracks or anything like that. So it has been already opened, but not properly checked. I think that's the base.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can put it together if you want.
It's the arm. We can put it together, yeah. Power supply.
What about the ASMR?
Oh, should we let them have a bit of ASMR today?
Yeah. Is this a close-up?
Yep.
Got to do it.
There you go. Shh, everyone shh. I'm going to turn up all the volume for this. I like that.
That was nice.
That was nice. Then the actual monitor itself. Pretty sleek, isn't it? I mean, it's not
amazing.
Yeah, it's not the best quality ever, but it's. I think it does everything that I need it to do. So, like I say, just a.
I think
nice monitor.
The monitor's one area where we sort of really cut the cost.
Yeah.
Obviously, the graphics card and the system in general is capable of outputting into 4K. with relative ease. But with you stating that you weren't really going to be doing anything in 4K for a while, we opted not to go for a 4K monitor at this time.
Yeah, I'm okay just having like a 1080p one, just so that it's going to get me by for the time being. Then next year when I start coming to do anything in 4K, like I want to start doing some cinematography and things like that in 4K, I will probably end up upgrading this then. But for the time being, this is going to be fine. It's going to be perfect for what I need it.
So yeah, it's LED backlit 22-inch 1080p monitor from BenQ. It's quite weighty. It's good build quality. Like I say, it's not the most amazing monitor that we could have bought, but
Yeah,
it's
I think it's fixed as well, innit? I don't think it's particularly got any adjustment in the height or anything. But
yeah, I believe that the stand is a fixed one, so we can't adjust how high it is. But we did measure it, and we think it'll be okay for your setup. So we're going to put this together now, because
I can always move a chair up and down to get the right height.
It's only really for people like me who are short that have an issue, because I'm going to be looking up like this.
Yeah, we've had to move his chair up quite a lot.
Yeah, alright. Yeah. Do you know, I read on the reviews that this was like poorly built, but
it's pretty good, isn't it?
That's
is
a metal input.
What screws is it?
So that's a Phillips head.
Right.
I'm not sure what size.
We'll find one.
Oh, Owen. It's alright, it's got one on it. It's a flip up screwdriver. How good's that? I'll tell you what, that's brilliant. The ability just to flip that up and just screw it in so you don't have to mess about with any tools. Yeah, cheers mate. That's robust. Compared to the reviews that I was reading, I was expecting it to be wobbling around all over the place, but that's...
Yeah, that seems pretty good to me.
As monitors go, that's fairly... So I had an LG similar size monitor, and it was less solid than that, and I spent a lot more than you did.
Right, I think that pretty much concludes our unboxing. There's nothing else at the moment. We've got a lot of boxes to clear up, but I hope you guys enjoyed that. We will be doing the build soon. It's just we're waiting on the processor that's going to turn up as and when it does. So stick around for that. Thank you very much for watching. It's a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me. Is that what you wanted me to say?
No, and a goodbye from him. 2 Ronnies.
Oh right, sorry. I mean, you can go again if you want.
No, it's alright, you ruined it now.
Okay.
Bye guys.
Bye.